So this video is going to talk about everything going on in the world of Keaton after the continuation of his Dark Knight some 30 years later. What's happening, people? Kwing here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Also, in the comment section below, tell me your favorite part of this video. Taking place after the events of Batman Returns from 1992 and featuring a much bigger role for Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent and later Two-Face, which actually was a plan by the original screenwriter of Tim Burton's Batman, Sam Hamm, who was replaced by two screenwriters for Batman Returns, unfortunately. One of the last things he did for Timmy was the original Batman 2 story, which I did an in-depth lore video on at Christmas some time ago, Batman 2, which was supposed to be before it became Batman Returns. After this video, go binge watch that old video and learn what almost happened for the sequel, including a Robin Hood Dick Grayson and an engagement to Vicky Vale, a murderous Catwoman, and a very different Penguin. It's a great video. Anyway, Warner Brothers and Timmy didn't like the direction of Batman 2 and dropped everything and started completely brand spanking new. Then Sam just ended up writing a few Batman stories for DC like Batman Blind Justice. And of course more duds like the Fantastic Four scripts that never got picked up, which is an odd statement when you think about how terrible the Fantastic Four movies were. Ouch. Once again, Sam has returned to the world of DC Comics to pen another Batman miniseries, but this time based on Keaton's Batman. Though I do have some pressing questions, like just how old is Bruce Wayne now, because he has gray hair? When did that happen? It's only been like, I don't know, maybe a year or two after Batman Returns? This doesn't make any sense. And I know a lot of people have asked me that. It's like, why does he have gray hair? I don't know. Okay, so we know since no date is given, I'm really thinking that the story takes place in either 1993 or 1994, since Batman was 1989 and Batman Returns took place Christmas of 92. Now, Batman issue 1 begins with Harvey Dent on a date with his girlfriend Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, a character we never saw in the Batman 89 world. Little random trivia though, but did you know that Batman 89 comic was actually pitched several years ago in 2016 to DC Comics that would feature Catwoman, Selina Kyle, the original Michelle Pfeiffer character, Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, Robin from Sam's Batman 2 original, so Homeless Robin, and Batgirl, though the pitch was dropped and later evolved into what we have now in our hands and on our phones. Pretty cool, huh? Just a little tweaks here and there, changing up some stuff like Robin and things. But anyway, back to the story. Harvey and Babs enjoy their date at the Janus Club high above Gotham City on Halloween night, 1993. Harvey says that this time next year he could be Attorney General of the state, wherever they are, possibly Jersey, and she could be his partner. It's Harvey's way of proposing. Just then, Babs sees Batman and freaks out. Harvey doesn't notice the bat though, saying, "Sure, hun, we're like 59 stories up." The next scene takes place on Gotham streets with a reporter interviewing people about Halloween in Gotham City. We see people dressed up as both Batman and the Joker, and they get into a fight. A mysterious gentleman starts counting down from 5, and then things get really hectic. Elsewhere, back at the club, Harvey tells Bab to take the ring home and try it on, think it over. We could also flip for it. Heads you say yes, and tails you don't. I like Sam's use of Harvey's coin so far for this story, how it helps him decide the more important decisions in his life, even before becoming Two-Face. He also nails Billy D. Williams' personality we last saw in the Batman 89 film. Brilliant, Sammy! Not long after the couple's cute banter on top of the club, a bomb explodes on the streets below, causing Joker goons to attack citizens, and wait a second, time out. Okay, first off, it's not that I'm necessarily questioning Sam's thought process here, but why Joker goons? They didn't appear in Batman Returns because the Joker and his gang were defeated in the first Batman movie. Batman took care of all of them. Now, the Red Triangle Circus gang was not destroyed after Batman beat up the Penguin. They just kind of disappear and abandon the Penguin in that like weird zoo underneath the city. So for the sake of continuity, this should have been the Red Triangle Circus gang, not Joker goons. Especially something that picks up right near the end of Batman Returns about a year later. Sorry, but that just kind of bugs me. Unless it takes place like right after Batman 89 in 1990. But anyway, time in. The Jokers plan on stealing armored trucks filled with about $30 billion in cash or something. Batman radios Commissioner Gordon and tells Jim what the criminals plan on doing and how they are going to escape with that much money. Using his trusty Bat Glider from Batman Returns, Bruce swoops down and stops the clowns stealing the loot using his Bat Grapple by pulling the helicopters crashing into a building right next door, preventing their escape, but accidentally killing some innocent people. Oops! As Batman descends to the ground, the clowns shoot at Batman. With lightning-quick thinking, Batman throws a Batarang to loosen a giant penny from Gotham's bank and use it as a shield to protect himself from their gunfire. He then calls in the Batmobile via, his voice to pick him up and help him escape, just like in the movies where Keaton speaks to the Batmobile. We then go back to Harvey and Barb, who are on the streets now, radioing for the National Guard because it's utter chaos down below. Babs then has her purse stolen, and Harvey chases after the clowns. He corners the thugs and beats them down. With his last attacker on the ground, Harvey picks up the thief's gun and says, "I don't know what to do with you, so let's flip for it. Heads you live, tails you don't." The thug is seen literally begging for his life when we hear 3 gunshots go off. Babs then comes running up and asks Harvey if he's okay. He replies with, "I just wanted to scare them, that's all." The Batmobile then interrupts their little convo, thundering right past them, and Harvey gets annoyed. Back at Wayne Manor, hours later, Alfred wakes Bruce Wayne up and says he has company. Harvey Dent is here to see him. Bruce, sporting gray hair, goes to have a chat with his old buddy Harvey, who they're the same age, but Harvey doesn't have gray hair. Anyway, during the convo, Harvey reveals he wants Bruce to help him take down the Batman. Irony. Who says the guy's just causing too much chaos in Gotham. Also, he's kind of crazy and isn't really helping anymore. Bruce is like, "Yeah, sure, I agree, pal. But Batman helped recover $30 million from the armored cars." Harvey replies smartly, "Sure, but Bats did $26 million in damage to the buildings to stop the thieves." And Bruce is kind of like, okay. Harvey more or less says one vigilante turned into a whole group of them, causing chaos and riots all over Gotham for the past couple years. Just to give some context to the scene, more or less what Harvey is talking about is a bunch of people dressing up as Batman and the Joker and getting into gang fights in Gotham often, emulating their heroes or villains, but causing more harm than good. Even Batman's fans are technically criminals in this world. Jim Gordon has also caused a huge mess in Gotham, and Harvey plans on cleaning it up by throwing Gordon under the rug and bringing the Batmen in. Yeah, Harvey thinks Gordon has like a squad of Batmen that are well-trained and well-funded, because no way one guy could take this much punishment. If only he knew. Bruce just sits there smiling Keaton-like and agrees, "Sure, pal, whatever." Harvey leaves the house and Alfred kind of agrees with what Dent said to Batman, and that maybe Bruce should hang up the cowl for good this time. And Bruce says, "Look, I'll never turn on Gordon because he was the cop on duty who helped me the night my parents died." And Alfred's like, "Look, I know that, sir, but..." And then Bruce cuts him off. "Look, like I said before, if I'm doing more harm than good, I'll quit." Now we go to the GCPD building where Harvey is talking to Sergeant Barbara Gordon about how to look at Batman's toys that the police have in lockup. She says his office, rather the district attorney's office, needs to submit some paperwork to look at them. Harvey then goes to visit his old neighborhood in a rundown part of Gotham called Burnside. Easter egg! So in Burnside, Harvey chats with his old mentor, Mr. Otis, who owns an auto body shop nearby. We're also getting treated with a little nice origin story about Harvey's coin in this panel. Apparently, the coin itself belonged to Mr. Otis, and the story is kind of sweet, actually. Otis told Harvey when he was very little, "Do you want to be a big man, which would be heads up, or you want to be a bum, a loser, for tails?" Harvey replies with heads, and has been a lucky big man ever since. This choice has modeled his entire life and kept him clean, got an education, and eventually his job as the dashing DA of Gotham. I'm cool with this coin origin, actually, and I like Mr. Otis a lot. I hope we get to see more of him, and he doesn't get killed, because that would suck. Back in Gotham City, Harvey holds a press conference hours later and declares war on Batman. Dent says, "Our children are wearing this lawless maverick symbol on their clothes, hanging posters on their walls of this freak. We tell our kids to obey the law and respect the law and be good, right? Yet our police commish embraces the aid of a man who answers to no one but himself. He's judge, jury, and executioner, hiding his face behind a mask. A criminal who fights crime for the city." He then asks the city to vote to change that. We then return to Wayne Manor, where Bruce watches Harvey's speech, and Alfred says the city wants him, and Bruce is like, yeah, in more ways than one. But then Alfred just points to the sky as the bat signal lights up the night. Sitting on the GCPD building, Dent and Bullock, a character we haven't really seen in this universe, although he was planned to appear in Sam Hamm's Batman 2, just patiently sit next to the bat signal. Bullock sitting there all very casual, smoking a cigar, tells the district attorney, look, just so you know, we haven't used this thing in about 6 months. And just so you know, Gordon and the Bat have some weird electronic communication device that's not a radio, so we can't tap into it. And they've been using it to talk for like months now. So he's not going to show up while we're putting on his little nightlight here. And Dent is like, oh, I know, but I just want him to know that if he's lonely, I'm here for him. Batman just kind of smiles, looking across the rooftops from them, and seems to spot 3 snipers waiting for his appearance on the rooftop of the Gotham Police Department building. And Batman's like, nah. Batman then calls Jimbo and tells him what's going on. Jim says Dent is crazy, and also he's very upset that that jerk is engaged to his little girl. Gordon wishes Batman well and then destroys the headset, but before he tells his old friend to stay off the streets and watch out for the National Guard, who have orders to bring Batman in, dead or alive. Literally seconds later, the U.S. Army declares a state of emergency in Gotham and orders everyone to follow curfew laws and get off the streets. Batman is actually taking their advice to heart, but then hears a robbery in progress and chases after the thief. The robber is a young boy who stole supplies for his sister so they can eat some food. Batman then enters like a shadow and says, "Where's the money you stole?" I can't do Keaton. Keaton has a very raspy voice. Oh, maybe that's it. Where's the money you stole? No, it's still not good enough. So anyway, the panic thug is like, I didn't steal any money, man. Only items from my baby sister, you know? And Batman says, calm down. I'm not gonna hurt you. Where's your mother? A voice says, I'm out here. And Bruce says, stay where you are. And he rushes out onto the fire escape only to be kicked in the face right off the building by a masked man in a hood, who says, hey, this ain't your house, man. Next time, knock. And Batman regains his balance and fires just in the nick of time to use his grappling hook, but unfortunately alerts the National Guard down below. The masked man then hands $8 and says, sorry for the trouble, and then bolts. And that's it, to be continued in Showdown at Burnside next month. Now, I actually thought that this issue was pretty good for a number 1. I love that Billy D has more screen time. We also get to see a glimpse of how he becomes Two-Face, and also how much he relies on that blasted coin to make all the difficult decisions in his life. I'm not sure how Dent will become the villain, though. I hope it isn't Batman's fault and that he's not responsible. Harvey did mess with some Joker goons in this first issue, so maybe that's how the transformation will happen. Or it could still be organized crime in a courtroom, I don't know. Also, I think Babs is a really fun character in this, and I'm interested to see a lot more of her. But I don't want her to become Batgirl because, well, she's much older in this, like late 30s, maybe more. Batgirl is traditionally for younger women, say teenagers or college girls. Just saying. Jim wasn't really used much in the first issue, and he looks very different than his original movie counterpart. Same with Alfred, but I guess it's alright. Maybe Jimbo will have a bigger role after Two-Face arrives in issue 2 or 3 of this just short 6-issue miniseries. As for Robin character, I'm not really sold yet. His costume looks kind of like it's from Arkham City, but his final costume that we've seen previews of, well, at least press has, looks more akin to the Batman Forever Robin suit, which I'm okay with. No shaved heads, though. It's a bad look for Robins, and, you know, Rocksteady's just terrible for doing that. Never again. Alfred feels a little bit different, not just in appearance, and Bruce's gray hair probably bothered me the most in this issue. Except, you know, if this story took place 15 years later, then yeah, I'd be totally fine with it. But nah, it's like 6 months after Batman Returns, I think. Don't quote me on that. I really want to say this is either 94 or 95, and it just feels kind of out of place. But anyway, I'm just curious how this whole miniseries will resume, and I think Bruce is actually going to use the Batmobile remote feature to kind of get away from the National Guard, because they say, don't move a muscle or we'll shoot you. So he's probably just going to be like, Batmobile, come, attack, and then the Batmobile will hopefully use non-lethal measures to, you know, extract Batman, but, I mean, it is Keaton. Keaton's kind of murder Batman. But anyway, I give the first issue 4 bats out of 5. Not bad. And that's it, that's all. If you like this video, bat punch the like button and share this video with your friends. Also subscribe if you're new. Anyway, I want to hear from all of you in the comments section below. How did you feel about Batman 89, Issue 1, Shadows? Who was your favorite character too? Let me know. I have one more Batman video coming soon to you guys. It's a review of The Long Halloween Part 2, which is coming along okay, minus me removing parts for time. Also, I'm toying around with the idea of doing Nightwing comic reviews like this, since my favorite book right now is The Nightwing Run by Tom Taylor. If you want something else to watch, I'm doing a series with Amber live every day on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles for Capcom. Link is in the description. We usually go live around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day. I hope to release a new video 2 times a week on this channel by September, so I hope you guys will have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and until we meet again, Gothamites, later.